Hello everyone, welcome back to Miss Fashion YouTube channel. My name is Miro. If you are new here, you're welcome. Kindly hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be going about the cutting of this blazer jacket by Vicky James. Okay, so if this is something you are interested in learning, you would definitely keep on watching, and let's get started with the tutorials.
Straight from heaven, just like my lucky number 7.
Hello everyone. So this is the pattern I'm using for the front, the pattern paper. So I have a starting point that I roll out there. So from the center front, I'm going to be going in by half of an inch. Okay, so this is the side as the allowance that button will be on top. Don't worry, I'll explain further later. So I went in by half of an inch, so I'm going to be connecting the lines together like so. So I went further to take all my horizontal measurements. So I have from my shoulder to the bust point, under bust, the half length, which is the waistline. So from the shoulder to the hip line, and also I went further to also take from the shoulder to the full length of the dress. So I'm basically just taking the full length of the dress right here. Okay, so you use your preference. You go with your preference how long you want the blazer jacket to be. Okay, so I'll just take the full length, like so. I'm basically just rolling out the full length of the blazer jacket. So the next thing now is to take the shoulder measurement. Okay, so why making this blazer jacket, you have to put this into consideration that the blazer jacket will not, the shoulder line will have to fall down a little bit. Okay, so for that my normal shoulder measurement is 8, so I added half inch to it. Okay, so I went further to take the neckline measurement. The neckline measurement I used was 2.5 inch. Okay, so after taking that, I went down from the shoulder line by 1 inch to connect my shoulder slope. Okay, so I just from the 2.5 inch I connected it to meet the 1 inch for the shoulder slope. So the next thing I'll go ahead to do now is that I'll take my armhole depth, the depth of the armhole I'm working with. So I'll basically just take the armhole depth like so. So I'll go ahead and connect with my ruler like so. Okay, so guys, if at this point you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please kindly subscribe, hit on the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So I'll be uploading the sewing video of this jacket. Please do well to subscribe and turn the notification bell so that you get notified when I upload the video. Okay, the sewing video. So from the armhole line, I marked the midpoint of my armhole line. So I'm basically just connecting it like so. I went in by 0.5 inch from that midpoint. I'll connect it to meet the armhole depth, as you can see. So the next thing I'll be doing now is that I'm going to be taking my nipple to nipple measurement. My nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. Okay, so I'll put it down there. My nipple to nipple measurement is 9, divided by 2 is 4.5. So I'll just mark it down there. I'll mark it all through the lines. So before then, I'll come down by 3.5 inch from my waistline. I came down by 3.5 inch from my waistline because this that will not go through to the hem of the jacket. Okay, so I came down from my waistline by 3.5 inch. So I'm going to be rolling a straight line like so, as you can see. So I've gone ahead to connect the lines together. The next thing now is that I want to input a dart from the waistline. Okay, so to do that, I'll take 0.75 on both sides of the dart legs like so. I'll take 0.75 on both sides, then I'm going to be connecting it to meet the bust point. So before I connect it to meet the bust point, I'll come down by 1 inch for the bust point because I don't want the dart to get to my bust point. Okay, I want to stop by 1 inch below my bust point, so I'll connect it like so. Okay, so to meet the 3.5 inch that I came down from the half length, that's the waistline. Okay, So I'll basically do the same thing for the other side. I'll connect it like so. So the next thing I'll be doing right now is to take my round body measurement. Okay, so my round body measurement divided by 4 plus sewing allowance. So when you get to the waistline area, you make sure you are the dart intake, you have to replace the dart. Okay, so when you get to the waistline, you measure the dart that is there, then you replace it. Okay, so you do the same thing for the other under bust and every other part that needs that replacement. Okay, so I went ahead to take all my measurements, okay, and by divided by 4 plus sewing allowance. Make sure you had the sewing allowance. So when you get to the hip line area, you have to add 1 inch to your hip line measurement, depending on how full you want the hip line to be or how extended you want it to be. So I added about 1 inch to my actual hip line measurement. So okay, for the hip line measurement, what you just do is that the number of inch you want to extend your hip line with, you just add it to your actual hip line measurement. Like in my own case, I added 4 inch to my actual hip line measurement, divided by 4, then you input the figure at the hip line area. So the next thing we'll go ahead to do now is that from the length of the jacket, I went in by 2 inch from the length of the jacket. As you can see, I went in by 2 inch from that part. So we want to what I'm doing right here now is that I want to get the opening at the center front. So at the waistline area, which is the half length, I came down by 2 inch there. So I'm going to be connecting the points together. Okay, the 2 inch that I went in from the full length of the dress to the 2 inch that I came down from the waistlines. Okay, so I'm going to be connecting the lines together like so. As you can see, this will serve as the opening at the front, the center front. Okay, so this is what I have at the moment. The next thing I'll go ahead to do now is that I'll be connecting the hip line. Okay, I'll be connecting the hip line to meet the full length. Okay, I'll be connecting the hip line to meet the full length like so. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'll be connecting the hip line from the hip line area. As you can see, I'll connect to meet the full length of the blazer jacket. Okay, so the extension of this blazer jacket, it depends on your preference. You can make it longer than this, you can make it shorter than this. Okay, and you can give it any curve that you want. Okay, at the hemline area. So what I'm doing now is I'm basically just blending the curves very well, as you can see. So this longer part is for one side, so we need to get the shorter part for the other side of the front. I hope you understand. You know, one side is longer than the other side. So to do so, from the hip line area like so, I came down by 1 inch from the hip line area. So I'm going to be connecting from that 1 inch to meet the actual hip line. Okay, from that 1 inch I came down from the hip line area, I'm going to be connecting it to meet the hip line area at the sides. Okay, just watch what I'm doing. As you can see, so I'm basically just connecting it. So the shorter part, this will serve as the shorter part of the blazer. So when I'm cutting on my fabric, I'm going to basically just fold in the longer part of the blazer. I'll fold it inward, like I'm going to just tuck it in to cut this shorter part. Okay, I'll just tuck it in to cut the shorter part. So when you're cutting yours, when you're about to cut it on your fabric, you have to note the side that is long and the other side that is short. Okay, so this is not a standard something you can just do with whatever works for you. You can place it on any side that you want. Okay, so the next thing I'll go ahead to do now is to work on the neckline. Okay, so for the depth of the front neckline, I'm going to be using 3.5 inch as against the 2.5 width, okay, that we took earlier run. So I'll go ahead to connect the 2.5 width of the neckline to the 3.5 inch depth, okay, of the neckline. I would basically just use my curve ruler to connect like so. Okay, so when I'm done with that, I'll proceed to work on the zigzag styling for the front, also for the neckline also. So I'm basically just extending the chest line area. So whatever I have from the where my neckline stops, I'm going to be dividing it by 2. That space where my neckline stops, whatever I have there, I'll divide it by 2, as you can see. So the next thing I'll go ahead to do now is that from the neckline area like so, I'm going to be going in by 1.5 inch from the neckline. So that's where that 1.5 inch stops is where the bishop collar is going to be stopping. Okay, that's where the bishop collar will stop. Okay, so whatever you have at that point, like I said earlier, you divide it by 2. Whatever you have left, you divide it by 2 like so. So from that 2-inch point, I will have to go in by 1 inch. You can do 1 inch, you can do 1.5 inch. Okay, so I went in by 1 inch. So at that chest line area, I went in by 0.5 inch. Okay, so I'll connect the lines together like so. I'm going to be connecting the lines together. At this point, just do whatever works for you, anything that you want to do, whichever styling that you want to do. Me, I'm not good at drawing. Okay, so I just connected it like so. When I'm cutting on my fabric, I will just do the necessary adjustment that is needed. Okay, so I might likely change the neckline, but at this point, this is what I'm working with for now. Okay, so as you can see, I'm basically just using my marker to just draw it out very well. Okay, to connect the lines very well, as you can see. So at this point, I'm done with the front pattern. I'll move over to the back pattern. Okay, so this is the back pattern. Okay, so there's nothing really serious at the back pattern. I will just have to just rush through this. Okay, so I have my zipper allowance, which is 1.5 inch. My zipper allowance is 1.5 inch. So I have from my shoulder to my chest line, I have from my shoulder to my half length, which is also the waistline, and also the full length of the back. Okay, so the back will be stopping at the hip region. So the next thing I'll go ahead to do now is that I'll go ahead to take from my shoulder to my bust point. Okay, so I'll connect it like so. I'll just draw a straight line like so. That will serve as my bust point. For this back pattern, we don't need the under bust measurement. Okay, so I'll go ahead to take my nipple to nipple measurement for the back pattern. I'll take my nipple to nipple measurements. Okay, so from the bust point to 3.5 inch below the waistline, which is also the half length. So I'll connect like so. Basically the same thing that we did for the front. I'll connect the lines like so. So from the waistline area, I'm going to be going in by 0.5 inch on both sides. 0.5 inch. You can use 0.7 inch. Okay, so I went in by 0.5 inch on both sides for the back like so. So I'm going to be connecting it. Okay, I'll connect it like so. So the next thing I'll be doing now is I'll take my neckline measurement for the back. So I came down by 1 inch for the neck depth for the back. So I'm going to be connecting it as against the 2.5 inch width. Okay, for the back. So this is what I have right now. I'll basically just connect my armhole depth like so. I'll connect my armhole. So after doing so, I'll go ahead to take my round body measurement divided by 4 plus my sewing allowance for the chest, for the bust area. Okay, so for the waistline, I'll have to replace my darts. Okay, I'll replace my darts intake for the waistline. So for the hip area, you do your round hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch. You can do 1 inch, you can do 2 inch, depending on your preference. So for the center back, I came down by 1 inch from the center back, because I don't want the back to be straight. Okay, I don't want the back to be straight. Okay, so I came down by 1 inch for the center back. I went ahead to connect it to meet the hip region, okay, which is the full length. I connected to the mid hip region. So when I was done with that, I'll go ahead to start cutting out the pattern. So just watch the way I'm cutting it. If you have watched this video to this point, thank you so much for engaging. If you haven't subscribed, please kindly hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. And I'll be uploading the sewing tutorial of this video soon, and you wouldn't want to miss out. Turn on the notification bell so that you get a reminder when I upload the sewing tutorial of this blazer jacket. Okay, so thank you so much for engaging. To everyone that has subscribed to this channel, God bless you. Thank you so much for sticking with me. See you on my next one. Bye.